Let's play a game called What If. Hey, Dan, what if Jordan Love struggles against the Rams this weekend?
Yeah, I would have some concerns, okay? One, the Rams defense is a walking first down to quarterbacks. They give up like 9 yards per attempt, 12 yards per completion. That's worse than the NFL. Jordan Love's thrown the ball 90 times this season. He's got 4 interceptions, okay? That's 1 every 22 throws, math major. Jordan Love, I love his moments this year, but I also don't love the fact that he's not valuing the football the way he needs to.
J-Mac, what if Kyler Murray outplays Brock Purdy this weekend?
Let's start to consider the Cardinals as division winners in the NFC West with an opportunity. Kyler Murray has had games this year so far early on where he looks like an MVP type candidate. If he's able to continue to raise the level of his game, this team follows, and we're really going to have to consider them as contenders in that division.
All right, and then Harold, I'll come to you. What if Justin Fields outplays Dak Prescott this weekend?
Well, Gritty, that means that the defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers and T.J. Watt has had a day. I'm talking about 2 or 3 sacks potentially from T.J. Watt and probably 5 total as a team for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's what that means to me.
So this is a really interesting game. It's the Sunday night game. It's the Cowboys at the Steelers. And we've talked a lot about Dallas this week. And in fact, it is no secret that I have a fork with me this morning. And someone might get a fork stuck in them today. We might just have to consider the Cowboys here.
Cowboys are done, man.
You're sticking
Already?
a fork in the Cowboys? It's October 3rd.
Okay, one, I didn't expect them to be a playoff team coming into this season.
Okay. It's correct you said that. Yeah.
Okay. Two, their 2 of their 4 best players are hurt, and it seems like they're going to be out for a significant period of time.
DeMarcus Lawrence for sure.
DeMarcus Lawrence, I can make the claim, is the heartbeat of their defense. Watch that guy play. They're going to be without Brandin Cooks for probably a couple games. Name their number 2 and number 3 receiver.
The 2 Jalen's.
Jalen Tolbert
and Brooks, and then they got Kevon Johnson.
And the tight end. You know,
and they've got Ezekiel Elliott. Can I?
80% of
you may not be making the point you think you're making.
Let's ask this. On Sunday night when they play the Steelers, where do the Cowboys have an advantage?
Quarterback?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That may be it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's reasonably it. No.
Maybe
so the bottom line, what we're trying to say is the Cowboys were a team that during the course of this offseason got worse, albeit more expensive, but still worse. And other teams have elevated. So we can have as much fun as we want with the fork. They're in real trouble, right? Because after this Steeler game, their schedule doesn't get any easier.
Where do you see? I think if you look at their next 7 or 8 games, like where are you honestly seeing wins, like clear wins? If you say 3, even the games after that,
I tell you, it's nowhere.
So that's the thing. Like you could 3 games saying they get 3 wins over the next 7 or 8 is actually being kind.
But I look at this and I feel like we're putting we're acting as if the Steelers just lost to the Indianapolis Colts.
Yes.
We just said the Eagles, we have potential of sticking a fork in them as well. The Atlanta Falcons play tough against the Kansas City Chiefs. They just they're making some moves, but we're talking about every team on this list as if they are all contenders to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We're talking about the NFC East.
They are.
But I'm just saying, they're not teams that have gone through their schedules and just dominated teams. The Lions looked really ugly against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So there's moments in these games where I feel like we can't stick a fork in them yet because who's the lead in that division?
Here's the point. That's exactly what we're building up to here, and that is this. I said in the open of the show, the Cowboys have one chance, and their chance is that the division doesn't run away from them, that the Eagles actually do implode, that the Commanders, whose defense outside of this past week didn't look good, that defense really is bad, and that Jaden Daniels starts to look something like a rookie again, and that division can be won at 9-8. If the division can be won at 9-8, that's the Cowboys' chance. If you have to get to 11 wins, I completely agree with you. The Cowboys have close to no chance of doing that.
If the Cowboys get to 9-8 and win the division, it still doesn't matter. They're going to get boat raced in the playoffs.
I'm not going to argue that.
Here's the list about the teams that they're about to play, though.
Go.
There's a common denominator. A lot of those teams like to run the
ball.
football.
Run the rock.
Yeah.
The Cowboys' Achilles heel on defense is that they cannot stop the run.
With
2
Micah
guys out.
Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence.
And then they do not run the football, so it makes them one-dimensional, so it makes it easier to defend them, in my opinion.
And that's the perfect way to set up what you have for us next year. So show us what Justin Fields can and should do to attack this defense.
Yeah, that's the key of the game. Can they handle him in structure, like some of the bootlegs that they're going to throw at him? They're really trying to get Justin Fields in Pittsburgh out on the perimeter, but also in the structure of a pass concept. Those are dump offs to the tight ends. That's 7-8 yards to Pat Freiermuth, and it's only really to his right that they're trying to get successful with this. This one's a dump off to Darnell Washington. He's going to go for 20. So that's the in-structure stuff. Then the out-of-structure stuff. If they rush past or behind Justin Fields, it is over. Those are 3 guys last week that get behind Justin Fields, and then all he does is go create big plays. A couple to Pat Freiermuth, a couple to George Pickens. For a Dallas Cowboys defense, if you go back to last time we watched them play in a athletic quarterback situation, Lamar Jackson, he killed them with this. There's it again. Behind the quarterback. You cannot do that. And without Micah, without DeMarcus, I got a bad feeling that they're going to try and do that without the discipline. And then the reality of this, their strategic quarterback runs, and Lamar killed them with this. It's a huge challenge for their defense.
I agree with Jason. I understand your point about anybody can win on Sundays, right? But when you look at the Cowboys, not only are they depleted on defense, where are the reinforcements coming on offense? Because they got to rely on the young kids, a lot of experience. Maybe they're able to rise to the occasion, sure, but there are no guarantees here, and it's not like they're going to go out and get Devontae Adams.
For sure.
They got the cap space, but they're trying to allocate that money for future deals down the line. So you're looking at this team, a lot of question marks.
And we have a lot of answers on our screen. There's not one
But
person
maybe that's
here.
the jinx. Maybe we can.
The NFL last
Look, my usual modus operandi is that if everyone is going one way, I go the other.
Yeah.
But I can't do it here. I mean, I can't see how Dallas wins this game. I still can't believe Pittsburgh lost that game last week. I never thought I'd say this.
Pickens fumble in the red zone.
Well, I'm saying their
that was big.
defense let Justin Fields down
Yeah.
also.
Yes.
And the fact that it's
fantastic.
in Pittsburgh, that to me is a big deal.
How did they block TJ Watt? I know everyone's going to go, well, they did it to Myles Garrett in week 1. They're not going to be able to do that because of Highsmith on the opposite side and the fact that, like, TJ can pick either tackle now.
Yeah. Okay, let's leave this thought here for the moment. We'll be looking at more of the good games from this weekend. Let's focus on them with some more or less brought to you by ESPN Bet. Harry, Stephon Diggs taking on his old team in the Buffalo Bills. Are you going more or less than 61.5 rushing plus receiving yards for Diggs?
I'm going more. I think offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick is going to make a point of emphasis to get the ball to Stephon Diggs early and often, all kind of ways, whether it's reverses, passing the football, catching the football, no matter what the circumstances are. Stephon Diggs is going to be emotional. He's going to show his old girlfriend that new girlfriend
Let's do another similar situation. DJ Moore got traded away from Carolina. Now he will welcome his former Panthers team to Chicago. J-Mac, more or less 49.5 receiving yards for DJ Moore.
I am going more. Harry, unlike Stephon Diggs, DJ Moore is not worried about his ex-girlfriend. He done got married, and his ex-girlfriend is over there struggling right now to figure out what's going on. But in that same vein, they're going to find a way to get him the ball. He's been visibly frustrated in their games. Get it to him early and often and let him cook.
And then finally, Vikings quarterback Sam Darnold will face the team that drafted him 3rd overall. That game is in London. Dan, more or less than 1.5 passing touchdowns for Darnold against the Jets.
Yeah, more. Greeny, they drafted him 3rd overall, and then they did everything they can to ruin him. I'm not going to go with the girlfriend analogy, but one of my favorite movies of all time is Man on Fire. Remember, like, the kidnapping situation and hostage, and the actress lady asked Denzel, well, what are you going to do when you find him? He's like, kill them all. I think that's the mindset of Darnold this weekend.
My
kill 'em all.
goodness.
Get him, Sam.
Kill them all.
The game's in London.
It's a great movie.
The Jets,
Great movie.
The Jets have far bigger problems at this moment than worrying about Sam Darnold's revenge. The new quarterback there, Aaron Rodgers. There are a lot of questions about his relationship with the head coach, Robert Saleh. So yesterday, Saleh talking about whether or not there are issues with Rodgers, with the cadence, all of that stuff. I just want you to focus closely on his words and his face as he said this.
You and Aaron talk over the cadence thing, and what is your relationship with Aaron now?
There is no cadence issue. There never was a cadence issue. It was created.
What is your relationship with Aaron now? How would you describe it?
Aaron and I are fantastic. Love the guy.
Love the guy.
So I'm sold. First of all, I mean, listen, some things just have to be said. The cadence issue was created by the coach. You created it in the same way you created the Egypt issue. That wasn't created. You created the issue when he went to Egypt, and you created the cadence issue. No one asked you. You created the cadence issue.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what's happened here.
So as a former Jets beat writer who used to be sitting in that room asking those questions. He's annoyed that he's even having to answer the question. I do think within the Jets, there's a lot of, between Aaron and him, there's a lot of the media did that to us, and the media wants to create all these things, which is not the case. I do think, to Robert Saleh's point, the cadence thing, not an issue, because Aaron Rodgers isn't changing anything that Aaron Rodgers does.
Right.
So it's a moot point. The bigger issue to me is the fact that you and I talked on NFL Countdown about the juxtaposition of having Zach Wilson there on the field saying hi to his old buddies, and these Jets feeling like we are so beyond that. We love him, but this offense feels so great to have a Hall of Fame quarterback in our locker room. This offense is so different. Aaron raises the standard just by being in the room. Like, you got to earn his trust. And then they came out and looked like Zach Wilson's Jets. Not only do they have offensive line injuries, they have pass protection issues. Breece Hall had his worst game ever. And you don't get a sense that nobody's providing answers as to how they're going to fix it. It's fine if they fix it on the field and show us. That's cool. But if they go to London, lose to Sam Darnold, fly back here, and now we're looking at this team, a team that, to Dan's point earlier, there are no excuses, there are no other expectations but get to the AFC title game. It's going to be a problem here.
All right, so Dan, let's talk about this media-created cadence issue. So for the fans who don't understand exactly what it means, first and foremost, in English, explain what it means, why it's so important, and how it matters this weekend against that Brian Flores defense.
Yeah, so before we get to the tape, cadence controls the game. Okay, you get to dictate to the defense what they do and when by your voice inflection. Okay, I control the game. Now, specific to this weekend, there's two things you need to do against Minnesota's defense. One, you got to be really good on first down to avoid a lot of the pressures by both efficiency and explosive. And then two, you got to have great cadence to get them to declare defensively where they're going. Just going back to last week, imagine being the quarterback at the line of scrimmage. There's 11 guys walking around right now. You have no idea where they're going, moving parts. There's only 2 of those 11 with their hands in the ground. So you're trying to figure out and declare what the defense is going to. They spin back to what we call Tampa 2 defense, 2 deep safeties, Harrison Smith running through the middle of the field, and then underneath coverage. There's only 3 rushing, but the quarterback, you feel sped up because you're trying to figure out on the fly. This next one's nuts. They have all 11 humans on the defense walked up at the line of scrimmage. You have no clue what they're doing unless you can get them to do one thing. Spin back before you get the ball. Well, they spin back when the quarterback gets the ball. They're playing man coverage underneath, 2 deep safeties, and now there's a one-on-one pass rush on the right tackle. If you don't get the defense to tell you what they're doing before you get the football, you are going to get boat raced. And that's why the cadence matters, because Aaron can get the defense. He doesn't need, you know this, you don't need all of 11 to go somewhere. Just tell me one person to do something, and then Aaron can figure it out.